So first, identification of safety and security requirements. Legislative Safety and Security Requirements, DOLE. So DOLE being the lead of agency on implementing and enforcing OHS, occupational safety and health policies and practices. Enforcement and rule making power in particular, which regards to the following laws and standards. So Philippine Labor Code, prevention and compensation. The Administrative Code of on enforcement and safety and health standard. Occupational Safety and Health Standard, which is the OSHS. Executive Order 307, creating the Occupational Safety and Health Center under the employee. Next is the Presidential Decree 626, Employees Compensation and Safety Insurance Fund. Hazard specific laws regarding anti-sexual harassment. Republic Act 9165, Comprehensive Drug Act of 2002. Republic Act 8504, National HIV and AIDS Laws of 1998, and Republic Act 11058, Act of Strengthening Compliance with Occupational Safety and Health OHS standard, providing penalties for violations. Laws and regulations under the jurisdiction of government, organization, or other. So, these are the laws and regulation that our government implementing since before. So, here in the Philippines, we have the Department of Health, Sanitation Code, Department of Agriculture, Department of Environment and Natural Resources, and Republic Act 9185, Comprehensive Dangerous Drug Act of 2002, Republic Act 6541, National Building Code of the Philippines, Republic Act 6969, Toxic Substance Act, and Republic Act 9231, Special Protection of Children Against Child Abuse and Discrimination Act. International OHS Convention legislation is designed to protect workers and members of the public from incident, injury, or loss. So, next is present advice and direction on action which needs to be taken to optimize safety and security, create confidence among the public, domestic and international, in the safety and the responsible conduct and operational of business in the country. Provide penalties for breaches and non-compliance. The next reporter is Mr. Gilio.
General safety suggestions for travelers. Safe-keep travel itinerary to include airline booking, accommodation, travel plans. Avoid traveling at night. Avoid crowded areas during nighttime. Seek advice from reliable source, i.e. hotel personnel. Bring along all times the contact embassy when traveling abroad and a photocopy passport. So, safety suggestions for travelers. These are simple yet essential practices that can greatly reduce risk during a trip. For instance, travelers should always keep their travel itinerary, including flight and accommodation details, in safe place. It's also advisable to avoid traveling at night or going into crowded areas after dark. Next is customer with special needs, developing packages, products, and services which are inclusive and suitable, appropriate to those with disabilities, in consultation to those with disabilities and those who will buy the items, planning routes and activities with the needs of differently abled persons in mind, providing wheelchair access to restrooms for differently abled persons, and organizational buildings and transport. So in the tourism and hospitality industry, inclusivity is important. That means creating travel packages, products, and services that accommodate people with disabilities. This includes consulting with individuals who have these needs to make sure that what we offer is truly accessible. Travel insurance, unforeseen circumstances which can be associated travel such as need to delay, defer, or cancel travel arrangements due to ill health, accident and injury which occurs during the travel trip, death, theft of items, evacuation, compensation in the event of flight cancellations. Common exclusions are accidents or injury associated with participation in professional events, expenses related to childbirth, personal decision to change travel plans, traveling to countries where government warning not to do so or in place, and expenses compensation which can be claimed against the carrier. So that's why it's important for travelers to be covered. Travel insurance helps with medical expenses, evacuation, flight cancellations, and compensation in certain cases. Approval from authorities, immigration, customs, parks and wildlife, natural attractions, health, travel and tourism. So for any travel activity, especially those involving nature, international destinations, approval from authorities is often required. Resources availability to support required safety and security procedures, training, through competency-based training, skill, knowledge, and attitude. So implementing safety and security procedures effectively requires the right resources. First, there's training. Employees must gain the right skills, knowledge, and attitude through competency-based training. PPE, protective glasses, goggles, eyewear or visors, face shields, clothing such as long sleeve shirt and trousers, aprons and overall high visibility clothing, helmets, hats and or caps, guards, padded protection for body parts, elbow guards, knee pads, groin protectors, harness, glove, gloves, gauntlets, and other palm and or finger protection. So personal protective equipment or PPE is essential in protecting both employees and customers from harm during specific tasks or activities. Plans, resources to support safety and security protocols must also include implementations of a formal risk management process which results in the development of emergency management plans and contingency plans. So this includes formal emergency management plans that outline what to do in case of fire, floods, power loss, or any internal or external emergencies. These plans detail procedures, responsibilities, and communication protocols so staff can act quickly and correctly. Contingency plans are commonly prepared for circumstances where faults and malfunction occur with significant organizational equipment and systems such as reservations, booking system, communication system, security systems, travel and transport vehicles and/or carriers, stock control systems, adverse weather conditions, unseasonal weather, heavy rain, floods, high winds, lightning, heat waves, which are climatic conditions which have the capacity to negative impact on bookings and patronage on sales, reduce the enjoyment of customers, present a risk and/or to customers, cause the cancellation of a planned activity. So we also need contingency plans. These are developed to prepare for unexpected operational problems like system failures in bookings, communication, or transportation. For example, if a vehicle breaks down during a tour or a storm disrupts travel, a contingency plans ensures the team knows how to respond. Equipment and systems. Organizations will also use a range of equipment and systems to support required safety and security requirements. Again, nature of the items used will vary between operators based on previous experience, number and type of events which have occurred and the past risk in the analysis of identified threats, funds available, and location of the identified threat risk. So, equipment and system organizations rely on various equipment and systems to ensure safety. This can include CCTV cameras, electronic surveillance, alarm systems, communication tools, and first aid kits. Documentation requirements. Workplaces will always use a variety of documentation to support and advise staff and customers about required safety and security procedures. Traditionally, these documents include posters placed in various strategic workplace locations to advise and remind customers about specific issues, checklists to help staff implement requirements and or inspect areas or compliance and or problems. So documentation requirements, proper documentation is also essential. Posters placed in common areas reminds everyone. Consequences of failing to follow safety and security procedures. Tourism and hospitality professionals need to be able to explain the consequences of failing to follow safety and security procedures. Everyone working in a tourism-related organization at all levels in all job positions need to know the potential consequences of not implementing, adhering to required organizational safety and security procedures in order to be able to explain to the other staff, be able to describe and demonstrate them to customers, motivate them to work in the way required by the business. So, consequences of failing to follow procedures. Now, what happens if safety procedures aren't followed? There can be serious consequences. This may include injury, legal issues, damage to property, or loss of business reputation. Authority and responsibility for safety and security. All employees will have the authority and responsibility for workplace safety and security. Scope of authority and responsibility can also be referred as is sometimes just referred to as scope of authority, scope of responsibility, or scope of employment. So each employee has defined scope of authority and responsibility when it comes to safety. From the top management to the newest staff member, everyone plays a role.